can help you determine if you may be able to lower your monthly payments, shorten your loan term, or tap into your home's equity. Stride's expert mortgage advisors will work with you to tailor a solution that fits your needs. With local roots and national reach, Stride Bank is your go-to partner for all your banking needs. Stride Bank, your trusted financial partner since 1913. Find out more at stridebank.com. Stride Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Skip the leftovers and get your game face on at Riverwind.
We're serving big wins and good times all season long.
Play thousands of your favorite games.
And enjoy the best rewards program in the Metro.
The Showplace Theater at Riverwind is the hottest spot for live music.
Don't miss our Digital Dash giveaway every Friday in November.
Play with your wild card to win your share of over $120,000.
The best food, drinks, and service only at Riverwind.
When the game is on the line, you need a team that you can count on. When injuries occur, you can count on the one team that knows sports medicine. Norman Regional's Ortho Central is your premier team of orthopedic specialists. With 5 highly trained orthopedic surgeons, 3 fellowship-trained sports medicine physicians, and locations in Norman, Newcastle, and Midwest City, we'll work hard to get you back in the game. Ortho Central, #1 in sports medicine and orthopedic care. Call 405-360-6764 and schedule an appointment today.
Fowler Automotive is proud to be a part of your community, where our passion and values lie far beyond the showroom. We believe that families, sports, art, and culture are at the heart of every thriving community, and it's important to us that we help build the communities that our dealerships call home. Stop by any of our 6 Oklahoma dealerships to see the Fowler Standard hard at work. We pride ourselves on being friendly, helpful, honest, and fair. This is what drives us every day. Fowler Automotive, a proud partner of OU Athletics. How about this? We're hanging out with the winningest coach in OU football history, Bob Stoops, Mondays on the T-Row in the Morning Show. It's the Stoops Review with the HBC on the T-Row Show, Mondays from 7:45 to 8:30 with limited commercial interruption. Every Monday, we'll be looking back at Saturday's OU game with a guy who knows what he's looking at. Bob Stoops, the Visor, the HBC on our show every Monday. Check it out.
How do you give hope to a child in the foster care system? It starts with your heart. That tug you feel on yours when you hear that children are waiting for a stable, loving voice to speak up for their best interests. And then it becomes your time. What started out as a feeling that maybe you could make a difference becomes the difference. Change a child's story. There is a child waiting for a volunteer like you.
Contact South Central CASA at 405-360-5295.
Every moment counts if you're at risk or living with lung cancer. And anyone with lungs can get lung cancer. It causes more cancer deaths than breast, colon, and prostate combined. And while there may be moments where you question your next step, through it all, Go-To for Lung Cancer is here for you. We are your community. For screening, treatment, and survivorship support, Go-To is your go-to. Confronting lung cancer starts here. Visit goto.org.
Are you looking for a luxury apartment for rent in Norman? The Falls at Brookhaven offers stunning 2- and 3-bedroom spacious floor plans with large walk-in closets, washer and dryer hookup, and a fabulous kitchen in a well-maintained, calm environment. From plush carpet to sleek stainless steel appliances to a pool, 24-hour fitness, and 2 dog parks, the Falls at Brookhaven has it all. Call our locally owned and operated community at 405-701-8233 or go online to thefallsatbrookhaven.com for a free tour and see what living in luxury is like.
The Ref Radio Sports Network is powered statewide by the insurance adjusters at Brown O'Haver. Fire, wind, theft, or tornado, we can help. Call 405-735-5510. Live from the Buffalo Wild Wings Studios, it's time to get locked in to the best Sooner recruiting and football news with Tyler McComas and Parker Thune.
You better lock it up. You better lock it up. No, you lock it up. You lock it up. Lock it up.
Hit the guys up on the Riverwind Casino call-in line at 405-329-9000. Text the show on the Knippelmeyer Chevrolet text line at 405-651-3439.
Do it! Just do it!
Now, with Locked In, here's Tyler McComas and Parker Thune.
I love it when I come in here, sit down, fire up the text line. There's already hilarious text up before our show even starts. Sometimes there's hilarious comments on the YouTube live chat well before the show has started. We already have a hot take in the YouTube live chat, courtesy of Cherokee Sooner. Would you care to hear it? Would you care to hear the first comment that I saw today as I sat down today? The hot take says this from Cherokee Sooner. Michael Boganowski has more explosive hits this week than a meth lab. Michael Boganowski, more explosive hits this week than a meth lab. And that is what I walked into today. Happy Thursday. We do love the Thursday hot takes, don't we? And that's a pretty good hot take there from a Cherokee Sooner.
So we've just gotten to the point in the week where we're pulling out all the meth jokes then?
Yeah.
Is that the game plan?
I don't know about you, but that is the content that I am here for. We do love those Thursday hot takes. So if you've got one like that, a halfway serious one, whatever, let us know. 405-651-3439. And we're on YouTube Live as well. Go send it in. You got a good one?
Johnny said, if Midzou had a show like this, it would be called Meth.
Hey, hot start. Hot start is what I'm looking for today. Yes, please. Here's a hot take for you. Some out there aren't going to like to hear it.
Okay.
This is not a hot take from me. It is a hot take from Sam Spiegelman, national recruiting analyst at Rivals. He has 3 predictions today. He has a story up. Prediction number 1 out of his 3, 5-star Michael Fasusi will sign with a program in the state of Texas. He is predicting today, for whatever reason, Fasusi ain't going to end up at OU. He's going to end up at either Texas or Texas A&M. So, we're about like a week on these stories coming out, huh?
Oh, man, look, I've learned the hard way at times in my years in the recruiting world that you can never be certain of anything. And so I'm not completely closing myself off to the possibility that Michael Fasusi could flip somewhere, but here's what I know, Tyler. Here's what I know. He won't say it, but he doesn't like Texas. He doesn't like the University of Texas. He doesn't like that staff. There's not nearly as much love there as there is at Oklahoma, or that there even is at Texas A&M, for example. I have said on this show that I think if Fasusi were to flip, it would more likely be Texas A&M as opposed to Texas. So if it's not Texas, then the program that would obviously kind of become the default choice at that point if he wanted to bail on Oklahoma would be Texas A&M. But here's the thing. Michael Fasusi and Lamont Rogers are very close.
Yep.
They've known each other a long time. They've been to a lot of the same events. They stay in touch on a regular basis. The entire reason that Michael Fasusi and Lamont Rogers have never operated under the impression that they are going to end up at the same school, nor have they ever made plans involving one another at that same school, is because they both play left tackle. And A&M's going to flip Lamont Rogers.
Yeah, that's a matter of time.
Texas A&M's going to sign Lamont Rogers. If Lamont Rogers is in the Aggies class, Michael Fasusi will not be.
I've always thought that that's an issue for Texas A&M in this one. Like, which one? Like, you're very far down the road with Lamont Rogers. Are you just going to ditch your chances with Lamont Rogers to take a chance with Michael Fasusi, who's more locked in to his current destination than the left tackle you have probably pretty close to flipping right now? It's a pretty big gamble, and you said it there with Texas. You don't think that he likes the staff all that much. Doesn't that come back to – didn't he take a visit there back in like the spring or summer, and maybe it wasn't the best visit? Something happened there.
Are you referring to Fasusi
or
Rogers?
Yeah, referring to Fasusi, sorry. Did he have like I don't know why. I'm thinking back like when we were talking in April or May or something like that, some visit that, you know.
A&M has definitely done a better job recruiting that kid during the second half of the cycle as opposed to the first half.
Here's what Spiegelman says on Michael Fasusi. 5-star O-lineman Michael Fasusi committed to the Sooners over the Longhorns before his senior season at Louisville. But in no way was that the final straw in his recruitment. With less than a month until the early signing period, both Texas and Texas A&M are working hard to keep Fasusi inside the Lone Star State. Oklahoma's Brent Venables and Texas' Steve Sarkisian were both at Fasusi's game last Friday night as the Sooners try to fend off the Longhorns and the Aggies. Fasusi has not shut his recruitment down, and while he has a visit set back to Norman for this month, he has also left the door open for returns to Austin and College Station before he signs on the dotted line. There is a strong sense that Texas will be there until the end with Fasusi, and the Aggies have similar intentions. Playing the odds, I like the chances of the elite offensive tackle playing his college football inside the States.
We are less than 4 weeks away from National Signing Day, Tyler. Again, I'm not saying it's an impossibility, but since Michael Fasusi committed to Oklahoma back in August, you know what he hasn't done?
Taking another visit elsewhere.
He hasn't taken another visit elsewhere. And so over the next 3+ weeks, what a school is going to have to do is get Michael Fasusi on campus, convince him to flip, and then not only that, convince him that he needs to have the very, very hard decision with the a very, very hard conversation with the University of Oklahoma that he's going to make a different decision. Because you can convince a kid to flip, but it can be very, very difficult to prompt him, to spur him, to have that conversation with the staff at the program that he is already committed to, and to inform them, hey, I'm going to go my own way. Because Oklahoma had convinced Peyton Bowen to flip in like April of 2022, Tyler. There was a reason why we talked more about Peyton Bowen over the final 2/3 of that calendar year than any other recruit in the country, is because everybody knew Peyton Bowen is going to flip to Oklahoma.
He wasn't going to stick with Notre Dame, that's for sure.
But he didn't officially decommit from Notre Dame, Tyler. I kid you not. He did not officially decommit from Notre Dame until the week before signing day.
Yeah.
So Oklahoma had to go in circles with that kid for 8 months, even though they knew he wanted to be at Oklahoma and that he would be at Oklahoma. He just couldn't bring himself to tell Notre Dame, hey, I'm done.
Ryan says, what does Michael Fasusi do if Bill Bedenbaugh isn't here? And that's actually a question that I had down as well. I would say that greater than 50% chance, in my opinion, that Bill Bedenbaugh's back next year. We'll see how the final 3 games of the season go. But if for some reason the new OC says, yeah, I got this O-line coach that I want, or yeah, I don't want Bill Bedenbaugh, and then, yeah, it could get interesting there. But that would happen very close to around signing day, would it not, if that was the case?
It would. And at this point in time, I would not say it is likely that Bill Bedenbaugh is coaching anywhere else in 2025.
Yeah, agree.
I think he returns.
I agree.
And there was a time, I think in the immediate aftermath of Seth Luttrell's firing, where maybe I was a little bit more unsure of that, but right now I think Bill Bedenbaugh is back in 2025. I don't have any tangible reason to believe otherwise right now.
Sooner Bump says, boys, I'm 48 and hate the difficult conversation still. LOL. Ryan said, I just read Ryan, sorry. Reform Sooner said, is he headed back to North Texas then? Because the statement was that he feels like he will sign with the program in Texas. Who's the head coach there now? Eric Morris?
Yeah.
I think they got a big game with Army this weekend.
Gosh, can you imagine if a kid like Michael Fasusi committed to a place like North Texas? He would run the city.
When's the last example of something like that? Like Ed Oliver at Houston? Like Houston's a Big 12 program now, but they were in the American at that time.
I'll just give you some context here. This is a name that very few of you will remember. There was an athlete in the 2021 class by the name of Caleb Johnson that was very briefly committed to Oklahoma. He was committed to OU for a couple months. He was from somewhere in Texas. I can't remember exactly where. 3-star player. Like, not somebody that, and he ended up decommitting from Oklahoma in like October, I think. And when he decommitted, there was nobody that was going, oh man, we lost Caleb Johnson. Like, just another guy at a place like Oklahoma. You know where he signed?
Where did he sign?
He signed at North Texas. He is, to this day, the highest rated signee that North Texas has ever had.
Yeah. This is probably the best example. A dude might win the Heisman Trophy. Travis Hunter going to Jackson State instead of going to Florida State.
But
Big H and Fort Gibson, K-Dub, Reform Sooner. Yeah, all correct.
No doubt. But that wasn't about Jackson State. That was about Deion Sanders.
Yeah, clearly. Florida State wasn't in the greatest of situations when he was going through his recruitment, but still, Florida State over Jackson State, pretty easy decision there. Okay, Slim Brady says, Tyler, let Gunny know he's going to have to donate one of his crack pipes to serve as the peace pipe this week. You think we can have Gunny there at the coin toss? Gunny at the coin toss. Who says no to that? I think Cousin Shane, that SEC podcast, gets to bang the drum there on Saturday at midzou.
Does he really?
I think that I know he and SEC Mike are going to be there.
That's crazy.
They're kind of buds with Drinkwitz, so I think he gets to beat the drum. I don't know what they do before the game, what weird stuff that they do. But yeah, might as well bring Gunny out there too.
Somebody said Khalil Mack, Buffalo. Okay, Khalil Mack was a 2-star recruit out of high school. So when Khalil Mack landed at Buffalo, it wasn't like, oh, my goodness, we got Khalil Mack. This is seismic. No, Khalil Mack was just another guy who turned out to be really, really, really good and developed really, really, really well over his 4 years at Buffalo.
Nigeri Kennedy to Texas Tech. That's the second time that situation has been brought up this week. Transfer portal, so a bit of a different deal, but if you want to look at it from the softball scope of things, sure. OU Architect driving from St. Louis to Columbia with my midzou cousin for a little golf in the game. Boomer. OU Architect, let me know where you're at before the game. Might need to hang out there before the 6:45 kick. Cherokee Sooner says, could we even see the coin toss through all the smoke? Is OU deferring? What happened? Receiving? Who gets the ball first? If Gunny's out there. It looked like when Texas runs out of the tunnel now and they have all that orange smoke that hilariously blows in the face of their fans whenever they do it, or at least in the Cotton Bowl it happens. That's probably what that would look like.
I've never understood the colored smoke thing.
Yeah.
That's always a bad idea. Always.
Everyone thought Miami was so cool. They didn't have the colored smoke. They had the fog machine, right? When they were running out. Maybe they still do it now, but they did it at the old Orange Bowl back in the day. I say back in the day. I really saw they first did it about 20, 25 years ago or so. A lot of people thought that was cool. 405 just says, wait, what happened with Fasusi? Nothing. Sorry.
Yeah, nothing has happened.
Nothing has happened with Michael Fasusi. There's just an article on Rivals today from one of their national recruiting guys. He has the prediction, not a future cast or anything like that. It's just like, hey, here's some, maybe a strong take that I have. I think Fasusi will sign with the program in the state of Texas.
And it's conjecture, man. That's really what, if at any point Fasusi books and or executes a visit to another program, yes, you should be worried. Until then, what has Michael Fasusi said? What has he done?
Well, it says Michael Fasusi has not shut down his recruitment. Well, what does that mean? He's still taking texts and phone calls from staff. I mean, he hasn't gone. I mean, he hasn't visited anywhere. So what does that really mean?
I think the best example that I can use to kind of draw a parallel here is PJ Adibawara a couple of years ago. He obviously committed to Oklahoma pretty early on in the 2023 cycle. He committed before he ascended to 5-star status, and once he did ascend to 5-star status, he started getting calls from a lot of institutions that had no interest in him before. Notre Dame and Ohio State, most notably. And I can recall having a conversation with PJ as I was driving out of Morgantown, West Virginia, after the Sooners had lost that miserable 23-20 game.
Oh, got Neil Brown his job back the next year, that game?
On a chip shot field goal by Casey Legg. And there was all this noise. Understandably so. Like, OU sucks at that point. It's been a miserable season. They're on the cusp. Like, they're clinging to hopes of bowl eligibility. And naturally, with everybody speculating, oh, PJ just followed Larry Johnson. PJ just followed this reporter from Ohio State. PJ's going to flip to Ohio State. Like, this is what everybody's wringing their hands about. And so I get on the phone with PJ, and I just ask him, hey, dude, like, Ohio State, I know they are right there. Like, they're in the picture. It's been reported that, like, they're coming after you. is that like a serious consideration for you? And he said, no. I talked to them. Like, why wouldn't I? But I'm committed to OU. Why would I have committed to OU if I wanted to go somewhere else?
Right. Yeah.
And so just because a kid still talks to other institutions does not mean he has interest in those institutions. Sometimes it just means, and, there's a parallel there because PJ comes from an African family. Michael Fasusi comes from an African family. They're both very, very respectful kids. They've been raised as such. And so they're not going to just leave a coach on red. They're not going to just ignore the communication. But also, there is a level of, there's no better word than just commitment. Like, there's a level of commitment that comes attached with their verbal pledge to an institution that is going to be really, really hard for anybody to chip away at.
405-651-3439, Knippelmeyer Chevrolet text line. EJ from Louisiana wants to know where OU could be playing in a bowl game this year. I got a list of that. A lot of OU Missouri, a lot of recruiting, just a lot of college football. You know what we do? Keep it locked on the Ref. More coming up next right here on the Home of Sooner Fans.
Hey, Sooner Nation, Coach Stoops here. You're listening to The Ref, the home of Sooner fans.
Your dream home is right around the corner, and at Stride Bank, we're here to make it a reality. With competitive rates, personalized service, and streamlined processes, buying your first home or your forever home has never been easier. Let Stride's experienced mortgage team guide you every step of the way, from pre-qualification to closing. With local roots and national reach, Stride Bank is your go-to partner for all your banking needs. Stride Bank, your trusted financial partner since 1913. Find out more at stridebank.com. Stride Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
It's football time in Oklahoma, and it's the perfect time to build your dream home with K&B Homes. Whether you're in the OKC Metro or beyond, they offer flat fee pricing with no hidden surprises. Bring them your game plan or choose one from the K&B playbook. They will bring your dream home to life with custom woodwork and your personal touches. Make the winning call today with K&B Homes. Call them today at 405-808-9005 or visit kbhomesllc.com to kick off your project.
What are you waiting for? If you're anything like me, that question keeps you up at night. So don't wait for someone else's green light. Do the things you love right now at Moore Norman Tech. We'll get you out of the classroom and into the real world with hands-on experience and whatever feeds your fire. So get after it. Oklahoma needs more doers, and doers don't wait. Moore Norman Tech, powered by Oklahoma Career Tech.
As we wonder why our kids are struggling, someone is getting bullied. As we discuss how to improve their mental health, someone is being harassed on social media. As we wonder why they're skipping school, someone is crying themselves to sleep. Knowing the signs is the best way to prevent bullying.
Please just leave me alone.
Learn the signs at sandyhookpromise.org.
Here at The Ref, we know football, and we talk football every single day. But it wouldn't be possible without the great people at Wade Electric. Because while we know football, we trust Wade Electric for all of our electrical needs. Anytime we need electrical work done at our station, we call Wade Electric. They've been out to install new exterior lighting, convert interior lighting to LED, update devices, and install new power where needed. Call them today at 405-329-1940. Wade Electric, the electrical experts.
1 in 4 Americans today are living with a disability. I'm one of them. People with disabilities are extremely talented, resilient problem solvers that have so much to offer. And we've got a trusted ally on our side, an organization we can rely on, Easter Seals. Easter Seals is leading the way to full equity, inclusion, and access to healthcare, employment, and education for people with disabilities, families, and communities. That's my Easter Seals. Make it yours.
Learn more and get involved at easterseals.com.
Okay, antibodies, huddle up. We're a great team, but the flu is dominating. The good news is the human we're protecting just got his flu shots. That means all of us antibodies have strong new gear that will help us fight and defend against the flu. We must win so that our human can stay healthy and help protect the people he cares about most.
Let's work as a team to defend against the flu. Gear up with a flu shot to help protect yourself and others and reduce your risk of being sick or hospitalized with the flu. Learn more at getmyflushot.org. Brought to you by the AMA, CDC, and the Ad Council.
Hey Sooners, I'm OU alum and Board Street Ventures founder James Spann. The Sooners season is underway, which means it's time for the Boyd Street Ventures Under the Radar Player of the Game. It's time for you to consider investing in BSV. Our portfolio has 16 innovative, under-the-radar, Oklahoma-connected companies. If you want in, the sooner the better, as our fund closes December 31st. Check out our portfolio at BoydStreetVentures.com. Boyd Street Ventures, under the radar, above the crowd.
Locked in with McComas and Thune, live on the Ref for the Homo Sooner fans. Tyler McComas, Parker Thune, the Ref Army listening worldwide via the free KREF app. Just search KREF in the App Store. New York is tuned in today. Olmsted Falls, Ohio. Colorado Springs, Colorado. Amarillo, Texas. Metairie, Louisiana. Buffalo, New York. Junction City, Kansas. Rogers, Arkansas.
Whoa.
Muskogee, Oklahoma. You like Junction City?
Junction City. Wonder who that could be.
You think it could be a Boganowski?
Big Mike? Is that you?
He told me that he was going to come to the remote Friday at Rendezvous in Memphis.
Oh, really?
I don't know.
Did he show up?
He never said hi if he did.
Wow,
but
he left you hanging?
I hadn't met Big Mike before, so I was looking forward to that. So hopefully at some point, Big Mike, if you're out there, love to meet you, man. Love to meet you, for sure. No, he's awesome, man. But, there's a lot of OU fans that day at Rendezvous. Pretty cool stuff. And, of course, our Ref Army Locator brought to you by Horns Down Apple Pie. If you're watching it on the YouTube stream right now, you can see the bottle, the upside-down Longhorn and everything like that. You can find it in 80 different locations across the state. It is fantastic. Perfect for game day. 6:45. You got some time to consume some Horns Down Apple Pie before the football game. But awesome guys there. Go check that out in liquor stores across Oklahoma. Both Dink and Addison do a fantastic job. Horns Down Fine Spirits, Horns Down Apple Pie. I know a lot of you have already tried it. A lot of you love it. A lot of you drink it straight. A lot of you have your own concoctions with it. It's fantastic. Ryan Fogier, OU offensive line commits, gets his Navy All-American Bowl jersey. He got that yesterday, so congrats to Ryan Fogier for getting that honor.
It's the Navy All-American Bowl now?
It said Navy All-American Bowl jersey.
Interesting. It used to be the U.S. Army All-American Bowl.
So I don't know if there's like a new sponsor with it or what. I'm like, okay,
they switched branches, huh?
I mean, in a year where Army's having a heck of a season, right? I know Navy got hot there for a minute, but geez. Fogier did say this, quote, "One thing I'm looking to prove is my dominance on the field and my technique. How technically sound I am physically is a big thing, and I want to show how big of a future star I can be," end quote. And then he talked about his commitment to Oklahoma in the same article. Here's what he said. "My commitment stands same as usual. The culture at Oklahoma is awesome. It's family. What the Sooner name stands for is awesome, and nothing can probably ever change that. The culture there is keeping me." Sound pretty locked into you, Ryan Fogier?
Ryan Fogier is not going anywhere, Tyler. He is not going anywhere. There's a guy you don't even have to worry about. Like, there's a reason why there has been absolutely no buzz ever about any other school in the mix with Ryan Fogier, because it's always been Oklahoma.
I don't think that he gets the credit that he deserves for how good of a player he is, because
he's awesome.
He committed, pretty early on in the 25 class, and we know how that works, right? If you got to sweat it out a little bit more, you tend to, right or wrong, maybe appreciate things a little bit more there. But, of course, Michael Fasusi's recruitment was just such a big deal that I think in some ways it overshadows some of the other offensive linemen that were committed. But Ryan Fogier, he'll have the tools to be a really, really good SEC offensive lineman. Really good.
They're going to like having him around. Would he start for this team right now at right tackle?
Yes. Yeah, I mean,
I'd sure rather
over
have him than
Spencer Brown. Yes.
Yeah. I'll make that trade.
Does that mean to ask who you would rather
Would Spencer Brown start at right tackle for Bridgeland High School right now?
Is that a mean question to ask? Who would you rather not have than Spencer Brown at tackle this weekend? I don't know. Hopefully it goes well. But if Missouri's going to get you anywhere, well, they've got good playmakers at receiver. We know that. Luther Burden is good enough to have, some big numbers, though his numbers, he hasn't really gone off a whole lot this year. They're good at receiver, but OU's got to be able to Got to be able to keep Jackson Arnold in a clean pocket, man, and be able to throw the football down the field. Dylan Stewart, star freshman for South Carolina. Negotiations are already in the early stages to keep Dylan Stewart at South Carolina. If you haven't realized and recognized that we are in a new era of college sports, well, here's another story in college football that'll let you know just what kind of era we're in. Negotiations are in the early stages that Dylan Stewart is expected to command $1 million to $1.5 million on his second-year deal with South Carolina's Collective. So I think he was making $500,000, or he is making $500,000 this year. And, well, he's playing very, very well. He's one of the best freshmen in all of college football. There's a thought that he's going to at least double his pay and make $1 million next year. Wow.
Proof, folks, that you can get paid anywhere if you go ball out.
Especially in an SEC school.
That right there is what a lot of kids don't realize, and a lot of their families don't realize, too. There is nothing that's going to enhance your earning capacity and solidify, like lock in your earning capacity, like actually performing on the field in a college football uniform. Because, yeah, you can make some money up front if you're a high 4-star or 5-star player that goes and signs somewhere with huge expectations for you. But end of the day, right, it's a business, and none of these contracts are longer than 1 year. And so if you don't perform and you don't meet expectations, they can kick you to the curb. They can go say, hey, go find somewhere else. Go JUCO. You're done here. And so for a guy like Dylan Stewart, who obviously had offers that were much bigger than South Carolina, for him to go to South Carolina, bet on himself to excel there, to start there in an immediate sense, and to make an impact, well, now he's getting rewarded with a whole lot more money than he went into college with the expectation of earning, at least in an immediate sense.
A lot of text to get to from the 918. Late to the party today. Is Cook starting on Saturday?
Don't think so.
Well, and that's the key point. Don't think so.
Yeah.
Still don't know for sure. Maybe we'll know a little bit later, maybe into tomorrow with an availability report. But I would not think so either. And that question goes to Cherokee Sooners' question: how much should we be concerned about our corners against Burden and Weiss? I'm not saying that you shouldn't be concerned. I mean, I'm way more, even though Theo Weiss is their leading receiver, I'm still way more concerned about Luther Burden than I am Theo Weiss. Like, Theo Weiss is a nice player, and he's had a couple of nice seasons there in Columbia, but I'm not worried about Theo Weiss scoring 3 touchdowns and, you know, he's the key factor of the game. I am worried about that for Luther Burden. My question is, are they going to have a quarterback that's going to be able to consistently get that guy the ball? Because if Drew Pine starts and plays, then that is less than ideal for Missouri.
Well, and the refreshing thing right now, if you're an Oklahoma fan, as you look ahead to the game this Saturday, is even if there is a world where Brady Cook does play, it's like half a Brady Cook at that point. You know, it's not going to be the A-plus version of Brady Cook. And so, regardless of whether it is a hobbled Brady Cook or whether it's Drew Pine, the game plan for Oklahoma is very simple. Just don't let the best player on the field beat you. And the best player on the field is Luther Burden.
No doubt.
But he can be eliminated from the game. And no, I'm not talking about like intentionally injuring him or something, but like I'm looking back to the game that Alabama completely handled Missouri at Bryant-Denny Stadium. In that football game, Luther Burden had 3 catches for 3 yards, Tyler. 3 catches for 3 yards. So you take Luther Burden, if you take Luther Burden out of the equation, then Missouri doesn't have a whole lot else to lean on. They did last year with Cody Schrader. Don't got Cody Schrader this year.
And Nate Noel, the running back, he was listed as questionable last night on the availability report.
Yep.
Missouri Sooner says, I'm assuming midzou quarterback was listed as questionable for Saturday's game. Just curious. Have a great day and safe travels to Columbia. Wish I could be up there with you. Yeah, I wish you could too, Missouri Sooner. For some reason, I thought I was going to see you this weekend. Yeah, on the Missouri side, Nate Noel, the running back, was listed as questionable. Brady Cook, the quarterback, was listed as questionable as well. Caden Green was listed as probable. On the OU side, Javonte Barnes listed as questionable. Farouk, Burks, Sawchuk, PJ, Bates, and Michael Tarquin all listed as questionable. Ethan Downs listed as probable. Sexton and Taylor both listed as out, which probably not that big of a surprise there. But I've seen, not panic, but I've seen a lot of texts today saying, whoa, what's going on with Javonte Barnes? Why is he listed as questionable? Which he did leave the game at one point on Saturday against Maine, but I could be dead wrong on this one. I feel like Javonte Barnes is – I haven't heard any scuttlebutt that he's not going to play on Saturday. How about that? I feel like he's going to play.
Yeah, I'm not seriously worried about Javonte Barnes' availability for Saturday. Gavin Sawchuk, that's a bit more of a toss-up.
Sure.
I still think he will play. The question is, how much of him do you see realistically? 20 carries for 41 yards on the season for Gavin Sawchuk.
Jeez, man.
That
Crazy.
maybe is the most...
It's the most surprising stat line of anyone on the team, based on preseason expectations.
I thought Gavin Sawchuk was going to be a first-team All-SEC guy.
He's gonna have to hustle to
I don't
get
think
there.
I was the only one after watching him rush for 100-plus yards and look dominant for the final 5 games of the regular season in 2023. And he just has not been the same guy at all in 2024, even when healthy.
Doug and Mustang says, oh, good. I'm sure Mizzou fans won't use Brady Cook as an excuse when we beat them. You know what? They can do that if they want.
That's fine.
OU's been beat up all year long. Other teams are beat up. I don't really care. Go in there, get a win, get out, get your 6th win, and call it good. I don't really care who plays in this game.
And look, okay, if they want to make that excuse, that's fine. This isn't going to be an exceedingly gratifying win anyway.
No. I mean, it's a top 25 win, but that's, yeah.
Well, is Missouri in the top 25
They're
still?
24.
They're hanging on?
24.
24? Okay.
In the new playoff poll, yeah.
Okay. Well, this is not like you're beating Texas last year when they're undefeated and it is the sweetest victory imaginable and you overcame the odds and you beat the odds makers in Vegas and you knocked Steve Sarkisian and the Longhorns off their pedestal in the Big 12. Like, that was an example of a victory that felt climactic. It felt like an arrival, and it felt like a statement and something that you were going to be able to run circles around the Texas fans with for the years that followed. But for Oklahoma and Missouri this year, with where both of these programs are right now, if you win, man, I don't think you're running to Twitter to rub it in. Maybe you are, but I don't think you're running to Twitter to rub it in for on the Missouri. My tongue is all over the place right now, man. I just got to reset.
It's the brown bag food that we have to mention here in a couple.
I know, it got me babbling like a fool, but I don't think you're running to Twitter to rub it in on Mizzou fans if you win this football game. You're just taking it for what it is, which is a victory over a mediocre opponent that gets you bowl eligible.
I might be yapping a little bit, talking a little bit, walking out of the stadium.
I'm sure you will, yeah.
But, maybe send off a tweet or two. But after that, nah, it's all good. You guys aren't that good anyway. Well, what do people – your one SEC win that you have, what do people say about that? Well, dang, man, Auburn handed them the game on a silver platter. Who cares?
Yeah.
You got an SEC road win. It doesn't matter. I don't care what it looks like or what happens. Get your 6th win. Like, who cares?
And I'll say this. I like the way this game sets up for Oklahoma on Saturday. And what I mean by that is I don't feel like they're going to get in a situation where where Missouri has to hand them the game like Auburn did at the end of September down at Jordan-Hare. Because Auburn did kind of have to give that game away.
Oh, no doubt, yeah.
But this is a game that, to me, Oklahoma should be able to control. They should be able to avoid turnovers with the way that Jackson Arnold is playing. Whether it's Drew Pine or a hobbled Brady Cook playing quarterback, your defense should hold the line, should be able to mitigate Missouri's ability to move the football offensively with any degree of effectiveness. And so this is like everything that needs to happen on Saturday is everything that is within your purview.
Yeah. Okay, let me get to a few more. Sooner Bump says, could care less what excuse any team uses. Just win, baby. I agree with that. You're stumbling a little bit over there. Sooner Jet says, hey, the horns down apple pie is for after work, Parker. We do have to keep Parker in check around here. You guys know that with the horns down apple pie in studio. One-star Porter's Nemesis says, I will screw those meth head losers. Love that attitude. 918, it's midzou. Any win is gratifying. Boomer. And 3-star Lost City Sooner says Barnes took the keys to that car. Sawchuk is not getting them back. Barnes is, it's not even just this year. I mean, clearly that's his spot. Barnes, though, has played to a level where you might go into the offseason saying, well, that's Barnes' job to lose in 2025 in terms of being running back one. I think that's,
It's absolutely Barnes' job to lose right now. And I say that in full recognizance of the reality that Taylor Tatum is going to be really good. And there's a very, very good chance that Taylor Tatum makes enough of a leap this offseason to put him squarely in contention for RB1 snaps in 2025. But the way that Javonte Barnes has led and has played and has expended continual effort and energy for the good of this football program throughout this year cannot be ignored. And that's why it was so encouraging and so exciting to see him be the one that just dominated last week with 203 yards and 3 rushing touchdowns, because that dude deserved a performance like that.
Did you have one of those burgers from the Brown Bag today?
I did.
Oh, man.
Big
Those
time. Go hard.
Big time. The Brown Bag, our restaurant of the day, located in Norman, 3770 West Robinson Street in the Brookhaven Center. They brought in chicken avocado tacos, chicken tender tacos, Southwest burgers, diner burgers, bacon cheeseburgers, chicken tenders, crinkle cut fries. They brought in a bunch of food today, and oh boy, it was excellent. They also have the Boomer Burger, which we know how we say it around here. So I would love for someone to have a call-in order, 405-857-2744, 405-857-2744, and say, hey, can I get the Boomer Burger? Their Boomer Burger is their version of the Theta Burger with a delicious hickory sauce. But
love me a Theta Burger.
Pretty fantastic. Highly, 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 highly suggest the Brown Bag located in Norman. Final segment of Locked In coming up next right here on The Ref.
The Ref is SEC ready. Are you? Download the KRF app today to get ready for it to just mean more in 2024.
How about this? We're hanging out with the winningest coach in OU football history, Bob Stoops, Mondays on the T-Row in the Morning Show. It's the Stoops Review with the HBC on the T-Row Show, Mondays from 7:45 to 8:30 with limited commercial interruption. Every Monday, we'll be looking back at Saturday's OU game with a guy who knows what he's looking at. Bob Stoops, the Visor, the HBC on our show every Monday. Check it out.
This year, Norman Parks and Rec is starting a new tradition. Following the holiday parade on December 7th, join us at James Garner in Maine for the annual tree lighting. Following the lighting, kids will meet Santa and the Grinch, enjoy cocoa and cookies, make crafts, and enjoy performances. Don't leave early, there will be a Hollywood drone show. Take advantage of the fun and Norman's new holiday tradition. Go to Norman Parks and Rec on Facebook for more information.
It's time. All we want to think about is football and basketball season, but it's also insurance season. November 1st to December 15th is open enrollment for your individual medical coverage. This is the time you need to pick a new plan or update your income to avoid tax penalties. If you're uninsured, this is the only time to buy individual medical plan for 2025 without a qualifying event. Call the agents at Allison Insurance at 405-745-2968 or 1-800-580-5587. Won't cost you anything and could save you a lot.
A big appetite calls for a big burger, and Brahms Crave and Save combo deal delivers. You get a double bacon mushroom Swiss burger, fries, and a shake for only $8.89. Brahms Double Bacon Mushroom Swiss Burger has 2 quarter-pound beef patties smothered with mushrooms, seasoned and marinated to perfection. Crisp strips of bacon and real Swiss cheese, plus all the fixins'. Grab Brahms Crave and Save combo deal for just $8.89 for a limited time only.
For over 80 years, Primrose Funeral Service has been providing comfort and guidance during difficult times. Pre-planning with Primrose can help make things a little easier for families. Not only can you pre-plan a funeral, but you can pre-plan your sunset cemetery arrangements, which removes the difficulty of planning for a loss at the same time loved ones are experiencing one. Contact Primrose Funeral Service at 405-321-6000 or visit them online at primrosefuneralservice.com.
Hi, I'm Ashton and I'm with the nonprofit Fostering Futures. Every day, children are removed from their homes due to abuse and neglect. In these critical moments, we step in to support these vulnerable kids. We work alongside child welfare workers to meet the essential needs of safety, stability, and healthy connections, as well as providing enrichment opportunities. But we can't do this important work without your support. Consider donating at fosteringfuturesok.org. Together, we can offer children a brighter future.
I thought mixing bleach with my floor cleaner would take the stain out.
When my youngest ate the dog's medicine, that was a new one.
I was trying to protect my garden, but I accidentally sprayed myself with pesticide.
So I called 1-800-222-1222, the poison helpline.
A poison expert helped me figure out what to do next.
I was connected to someone who spoke Spanish.
They answered my questions.
It was free.
It was confidential.
It was real help in real time.
Keep the poison experts in your pocket. 1-800-222-1222.
Every moment counts if you're at risk or living with lung cancer. And anyone with lungs can get lung cancer. It causes more cancer deaths than breast, colon, and prostate combined. And while there may be moments where you question your next step, through it all, Go-To for Lung Cancer is here for you. We are your community. For screening, treatment, and survivorship support, Go-To is your go-to. Confronting lung cancer starts here. Visit goto.org.
Dorsey Jones Buick GMC in El Reno, bringing you this hour of Locked In with McComas and Thune. Dorsey Jones is family-owned and operated, established in 2020, but many of their employees have been there for more than 20 years. Their low-pressure environment creates an enjoyable experience for everyone, and their sales staff is knowledgeable and eager to assist you before and after the buying process. They have all of that and incredible pricing as well. Dorsey Jones Buick GMC. I forgot to get to a text last segment. I forgot who it was. Someone was asking about, what bowl game could OU be looking at if they do get to 6 wins. I think that there's a few options. I keep seeing the, not the ReliaQuest Bowl, I guess it was the Gasparilla Bowl in Tampa as one option. I think North Carolina State was an opponent that I saw this week. I would bet the Texas Bowl in Houston against a Big 12 opponent could be a likely destination for OU. That's on December 28th. I saw a few weeks back a prediction for the Vegas Bowl on December 17th, and then I might even include the Liberty Bowl in Memphis, December 28th. That's also against a Big 12 team.
Please play in a bowl that's before Christmas or after New Year's. Please. I just want a normal Christmas.
So you want the Vegas Bowl is what it looks like on December 17th.
Oh, my gosh. I'll bite the bullet, sure. I'll take the Vegas Bowl. Even though I hate Vegas.
Oh.
I'll do it.
Your boy, he's going to try to go down there 2 weeks, but that'd be deadly, not 2 weeks before. I may not survive. I'd love to go to the Vegas Bowl December 17th. That'd be a lot of fun. So
that would be the Javante Barnes Renaissance game because he's from Vegas, so he'd go for $250.
You think DeMarco Murray would get a standing ovation as he walked into Allegiant Stadium?
They'd probably rename the bowl after him.
I like that, the DeMarco Bowl. I like that a lot. Billy Napier coming back in 2025? Regardless of what happens? Dude, what if they get curb stomped by Texas? What if they get destroyed by LSU? What if they lose to god-awful Florida State in the final game of the regular season? Wow.
Everyone hates Scott Strickland. That is not an exaggeration. Everyone in the Florida circle absolutely detests their athletic director, Scott Strickland. And a great way to get people to hate you even more is to give a coach a vote of confidence and promise that he will return in 2025, 3 games before the end of the regular season. Like, there's absolutely no reason to put out that statement yet.
Yeah.
And hang on. Remind me, did they do something similar with Dan Mullen?
That he was coming
do something
back.
Similar with Dan Mullen?
Say that he's definitely coming back and they fired him.
And then they fired him?
Maybe. Because Dan Mullen got fired. That was the year where the Florida player threw his shoe at the LSU guy, right? No,
it was a year after.
That was the year that they played OU.
21.
Actually. Yeah.
It was 21 that Mullen got run out of town. But I seem to recall Scott Strickland doing something similar. I could be wrong. Maybe I'm thinking of somebody else. But I recall him saying or putting out something similar with Dan Mullen. Obviously, Dan Mullen got fired. So, like, I don't think this necessarily seals Billy Napier's job for 2025. The wheels could still come off the wagon in disastrous fashion the rest of the way in the month of November. But my biggest question is, why? Why do you put that statement out now?
It's
what
so weird.
benefit does it have? Maybe, okay, your goal is to stabilize your recruiting class, and if you got guys that are kind of starting to look elsewhere in
But do they have a great
November,
class as is right now?
They have a decent class. It's not great. It's certainly not disastrous. Florida State's is disastrous.
Yeah.
In fact, Florida's about to flip Florida State's quarterback commit, Tramel Jones. So
Florida has the 59th ranked recruiting class right now. 12 commits, 0 5-stars, 7 4-stars, and 3 3-stars.
yeah. And they'll get more. They'll close strong. They will. But that's the only reason. That's the only reason it would make any sense to put a statement like that out, is if you're that worried about your recruiting class falling apart at the seams.
One-star Porter's nemesis says, when is Jonte Cook committing to OU? Sark revealed today that Jonte Cook no longer with the program at Texas. Did see a story today, and I don't know if there's any inside information on this, but they listed a good amount of schools that will probably be in the running for Jonte Cook. Ole Miss, Michigan, A&M, Oregon, SMU, Colorado, Florida State, Miami. Oklahoma not listed there.
I did not hear the University of Oklahoma get a mention there, which is good because, trust me, Oklahoma does not want Jonte Cook. Brent Venables and his staff did not want Jonte Cook. I believe he had an OU offer under the former staff. The new staff realized very, very quickly once they became acquainted with the kid, yeah, that's probably not our type.
Was he a 4-star or 5-star guy?
He was a 5-star.
Yeah, I remember him being really highly recruited. I couldn't remember if he's a 5-star or not. But in the middle of the year, man, they're a lot to play for.
He was always a little bit of a, what would be a slightly less offensive version
pain in
of
the
term
ass
I want to use. He's always been a little bit of a prima donna.
Interesting. Slim Brady says Missouri passed sports betting. Whoa, okay. Like just now, or it's going to be legal when I make my way to Columbia on Saturday? Let me know, Slim Brady. Let me know on that. 903, what's the word on OC? It's scuttlebutt right now, but I heard you say earlier, and I keep getting a lot of text on Dan Mullen. Joe Craddock and Dan Mullen, maybe the two leaders in the club. A lot can change. A lot can change, and a lot will probably change, I'm sure. But as of right now, there seems to be a lot of buzz for those two guys.
The big sleeper for me is Ben Arbuckle. Ben Arbuckle would be my sleeper pick at the moment. But I do think for the time being, the top two candidates are Craddock and Mullen. And I think Brent Venables would be more inclined to go with Dan Mullen than Joe Craddock at that point.
Porter's nemesis says, we'll take Jonte for a one-game rental in Columbia. Goes for 200 yards and 2 touchdowns, and we'll take him. Who says no? We don't think Farouk or Burks is going to do that on Saturday? 200 and 2 touchdowns?
I don't know when the next time I'll see an Oklahoma receiver go for 200 yards is. Has anybody done that since CD? Is CD the last one to do it?
I mean, I would guess that probably not. Certainly hasn't happened this year.
A 580 listener says, Jonte got a little Trajan Bridges in him. Well, to my knowledge, he has never pistol whipped his weed dealer, so I don't know if I would make that comparison. But
Frisco Sooner says, guys, I'm not trying to be a smartass, but, I mean, what a way to start a text, Frisco Sooner. Nice. Guys, I'm not trying to be a smartass, but why would you think that OU is going to be able to move the ball consistently against this SEC defense, or any other for that matter, with what we have seen so far this year? I mean, do you guys really think that Spencer Brown and Logan Hallen will be able to block any defensive player they have? Man, I hope you guys are right, but I'm going to have to see it to believe it. In my opinion, if OU wants to win this game, they're going to have to win the turnover battle and get help from the defense, which is exactly the way that we laid it out yesterday of why we think OU is going to win. I think I said like 20-13, and what'd you say?
And here's what I would say in response to that text. At no point this week have I said I think Oklahoma's going to move the ball consistently on Saturday night. Because you know what? I don't think that. I think they will move the ball inconsistently on Saturday night. My final score prediction for this game was 17-6, Oklahoma. So,
Yeah, I don't have
you
some
can kind of
huge
fill in the
offensive
gaps
success
there,
at
but
all.
like I'm not expecting Oklahoma's offense to look clinical on Saturday, but I also don't think it needs to.
Yeah, that's the thing. I think OU's defense is going to play well enough to get. I think the OU offense is going to do just enough to help this team get a win. But this has been the case for a while. Like if OU's going to win an SEC game, it's going to be on the back of its defense. That's how that one's going to work. EJ from Louisiana says, I'm ready to see what Joe John can do with the receivers that may be returning along with the running game. Yeah, I mean, if Joe John is back next year, I think that's a very big if at this point.
Brian from Maryland says, perhaps Chip Kelly's success at OSU will entice Mullen and others who hire that former head coaches who were OCs can work. I've said it several times now, but I will say it one more, and probably many more between now and the end of November. I have no issue with hiring Dan Mullen as an offensive coordinator. Like, if you're hiring Dan Mullen to be the head coach of your football program, that's maybe a different conversation for a guy that's been out of the game for 3 years and did earn himself a pink slip at Florida, unjustified as it may have been, because I think there were many that thought that was probably a bit premature. Now you look at Billy Napier, who's 15 and 18 in his time at Florida, and conclude, okay, maybe Mullen was a little better of a coach than Florida perceived him to be. But Dan Mullen is an excellent offensive mind. He has had great success as a play caller and as an offensive coordinator, and especially a developer of quarterbacks in the past. So if that is the hire, I have no qualms with it. If Oklahoma were hiring Dan Mullen as their next head football coach,
We got an issue there.
yes, then I'm apprehensive. But as an OC, I think Dan Mullen's as good as it gets.
Do you like tigers? You big tiger
Yeah.
tiger guy?
Are we talking like actual tigers?
Yeah,
like
an
the
actual
animal?
tiger. Would you find it cool to see a live tiger up close and personal if the tiger
Sure.
was in a cage?
Yeah, sure.
Well, we are going to Baton Rouge this month, and apparently they are bringing the live tiger back to Death Valley this weekend. I don't know if it's actual Mike the tiger that they have there and that incredible habitat that Mike has, but they're bringing a tiger. I think it said a tiger from out of state, because they haven't brought Mike the tiger on the field since 2017, and the governor there's been like, let's bring him back. It's a cool thing. Bring him back on the field. Looks like they're bringing a tiger in this weekend.
If OU were a serious program, they'd let Joe Exotic lead the team out of the tunnel.
Oh, my gosh. Are you kidding me?
The tiger handler himself.
There's a new show, kind of. It's the same director, I believe.
Oh, okay.
It's with Chimp. Chimp Crazy is what it's called. Just we're in that. So if you thought that that whole Joe Exotic stuff, Tiger King, was insane, and you want to see that version with chimps, essentially, well, that's available to you right now.
The sequel's never as good as the original, and it doesn't sound like that sequel is as good as the
I
original.
like Tiger King a little bit better, but Chimp
Uh-huh.
Crazy is still, well, it's still pretty crazy. You get some weirdos out there for sure. Mr. 405, it's cool as he mauls everyone. That's what
Porter's nemesis added, what happens when that tiger pulls a Tiger King and mauls the hell out of somebody?
Yeah, what a nightmare. Jim in Arlington, Tyler, Cousin Shane, and SEC Mike had the T-shirt Broklahoma in their podcast store. They said that Missouri fans are responsible for it. SEC Mike told me during the offseason that was their best seller of any T-shirt that they have.
Really?
Missouri fans buying up all the Broklahoma T-shirts.
Interesting.
Bunch of nerds. See some of those around on Saturday.
Yeah, we'll see what Missouri's money really bought him this weekend, too.
Well, I don't know if we're going to see Caden Green out there. Has Willie? I haven't seen Williams Winery out there.
He has one tackle this year.
Yeah, one tackle.
One tackle.
No wonder. 580 Taylor Tatum is taking them keys next year. As for the game on Saturday, do we have enough confidence in the secondary to stop the pass? All good on Eli's side of the field, but the other and in the middle is very suspect. I would guess that Missouri tries to do exactly that. Attack OU's corners, attack the middle of the field. We'll just see how successful they are at it if Drew Pine is the quarterback on Saturday. OU got to get to the quarterback, though, in this game. Got to force a couple of turnovers, too.
Got to.
Haven't been forcing a ton of turnovers here lately. You notice that?
That is true. Now, when Jackson Dart really settled into a groove against Oklahoma, it was when the Sooners started to play a lot of zone coverage, and obviously Dart has good enough receivers and tight ends, and he's a smart enough and accurate enough quarterback that he can go find the holes in the zone. Is that going to be as easy of a thing for somebody like Drew Pine to do? No, I don't think so. But that Eli Bowen, Luther Burden matchup, that's going to be must-see TV.
Dan in Madison, Mississippi says, I think we score on 5 drives. We should have scored on 4 versus Ole Miss, 2 touchdowns and 2 field goals. All 4 drives were long and sustained. We will best that this weekend. Dan in Madison, Mississippi says 5 scoring drives on Saturday. You score 5 times, I think you win the football game, Dan. The Rush is coming up next.